are live here in Houghtton Lake, Michigan at the Houghtton Lake Chamber of Commerce, and we are going to cover a hot topic here in Houghtton Lake, and if you're from anywhere around here, you've probably heard.
Well, Tip-Up Town is on.
Yes.
Don't get anybody that says otherwise doesn't know what they're talking about. We are still on. Regardless of whether we have snow and ice, it is still on. Over 90% of what we do is done on land, does not require snow or ice. Of course, it'd be better if we had some snow and ice and we were still praying for it.
Absolutely. And this here, who has jumped right into our topic today on our hot topic in Houghtton Lake, is Jay Jacobs. He's our current executive director here at the Houghtton Lake Chamber of Commerce. And we are going into yet another year of Tip-Up Town, regardless of the weather.
Absolutely.
Now, I know that weather is, with this being an outdoor festival, a constant struggle for you guys. Give me some examples of past Tip-Up Towns that the weather has not been your friend.
Well, we've had too much snow. We've had too cold of temperatures. It was so cold one year we couldn't cut the hole in the ice for the polar bear dip.
Absolutely.
We've had so much snow that the tent collapsed.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that time.
Yes. So we've had issues. We're at the mercy of the weather in many ways.
Now that leads me to the next question. They're all wanting to know, why don't we just move the festival to February?
Well, we have a lot of people who come to our festival who plan their vacations on the last 2 weekends in January. We have a lot of our businesses requiring it. To move it into February, we would also be competing with other winter festivals.
Absolutely.
And I don't think we wouldn't want to do that either.
Well, and the one that the most people don't like to hear the answer a lot is tradition.
It is
and
tradition.
while our traditions do change, because we've had the parade change this year.
It has. But things have changed. Traditions have changed throughout the history of Tip-Up Town.
Yes, because
once upon a time, everything was on the ice.
Yes, and another once upon a time was specifically regarding the parade. It used to be the 3 miles, and now it's gone down to this year, the 1 mile.
Just over a mile.
Yes, but my father was mayor of Tip-Up Town in 1970, so when I brought this up to him, his words to me were, honey, things change. Back in the day, we used to go all the way around. All 4 townships here. Markey, Roscommon, Denton,
And I didn't know that.
Yes, and so that was way before, back before the 80s even. I didn't get the exact
Before
years.
we had written history?
Not that far ago. I'm going to tell my dad you said that. But the point is that Tip-Up Town spirit survived all these years. What year are we in now?
74.
Yeah, 74 years later, Tip-Up Town is still going on, even though that parade didn't stay the way it was. And I'm sure back then it was a ruckus of a rile-up when that changed.
Melissa, I'm going to tell you. Tip-Up Town is not about a parade.
No.
Not about a Ferris wheel or a fishing contest. Tip-Up Town is about our community. Our community is very resilient, very resourceful, extremely friendly. Anybody that comes to Tip-Up Town is going to have a great time. Tip-Up Town lives in the spirit of our hearts.
Yep.
Our community will embrace this event. They'll embrace anybody who comes to visit us, and we will all have a great time.
Yes. Now, will the festival be a little bit different if we don't have snow and ice?
Yes.
Yeah, so for example, I host the side-by-side ice races during the festival at the site each year. And both the last 2 years, this year and last year, unfortunately, we've had to cancel completely. But my experience of weather being an issue, and to help you with your support of not just move it to February, in 2022, we had to not have them in our ice race in January. There was not enough ice. So we rescheduled our event into February, because there'll be plenty of ice. It's February, right? Wrong. We still did not have enough snow and ice that year. And so we ended up having to push that way out into March.
Yes.
So no matter what time of year we do an outdoor event, whether it's Tip-Up Town, the Bluegill Festival, any of our events in the area, weather is always going to be a problem.
Well, we're always going to be at the mercy of weather. If we held this in the middle of August, we could get cold weather, rainy weather, hail, windy weather, too hot. It could be anything. Yes. So these things do happen. We're at the mercy of Mother Nature. So we will survive. We will have our Tip-Up Town. We're going to have a great time.
Yes, and now we've gotten off those negative topics. We all know that Tip-Up Town is happening, and it all starts to kick off this weekend.
This Saturday night.
Yes, with the Taste of Houghtton Lake event. I'm so excited.
We have 10 food vendors this year.
Oh, now can we sneak a few names of who's coming?
Well, we have the chef from the Tiki Bar.
Ooh, yum.
We have Killcare Inn.
Yeah.
I believe we have RJ's Best Choice.
Okay.
We have a food truck.
Yetis. Yep. We have Backdoor Saloon, I know
Backdoor Saloon is coming.
Copper Kettle.
Copper Kettle is coming.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of, the Commission on Aging
Oh, yes,
again.
the
They were
Commission
18
on
and second.
Aging. And
MJ's is going to be our defending champion.
Yeah, they won last year, and
That's
that's
right.
just a small variety. I put them on the spot, so
Yeah.
there'll be 10 of them there, and that's going to be this Saturday. It starts at 5:30.
At 5:30, from 5:30 to 7 o'clock, we're going to have that free tasting for all those vendors, and then it starts at 7 o'clock. We're going to start our normal kickoff event, and then we have two sets of candidates for mayor and marshal. So this year we're going to have skits.
I love the skits.
Yes. So we will have those. We have 3 queen candidates. All 3 of them,
Wonderful.
I think, are absolutely wonderful. Will be great representatives.
And I love what they're doing. So back when I ran for queen, and I was queen in 2011, it was more of it wasn't ever really a pageant, but more pageantry style. You were judged on your knowledge and your presence of talking about Tip Up Town. And I love that now you guys have changed it into something that benefits our community so
Right.
much more than just having a wonderful representative for our
Correct.
community. What is the difference now?
Well, now you have to represent a charity.
Yes, a
Now,
nonprofit organization benefits from
Well,
this.
it can be anything from a spaghetti dinner type charity
Okay.
to a true nonprofit.
Oh, okay. Now that I did not know.
Yes. Now, we had this happen a few years ago where a young man was suffering from cancer, and unfortunately he did succumb. But one of the representatives said, I want to represent him because they were doing a spaghetti dinner type event fundraiser for him. They were one of the representatives. That's the year that Maddie Hillier happened to win, and the Commission on Aging said, can we share the prize? So his widow did benefit from that event,
Fantastic. So
as
that
well
means,
as the Commission on Aging. And last year it was the food pantry that
yes.
benefited.
So it's fantastic seeing not only women step out and shine for their community, but to do it for a great cause.
Yeah.
Even better. I wish that's how it was.
And I
when
want to tell you a cute story, if I may.
Sure.
Maddie Hillier, that same year, decided to go to the Traverse City Queens
The
for
coronation ball. Ooh.
Yes. So she's there with all these, young 20-year-old size 0 beauty queens, and here comes Maddie, and she's just such a lovable person. And they wanted to know about our contest. They took that idea back to their communities.
Fantastic.
And so I think we're setting a little bit of a trend.
Well, and that is something that, and from my experience too, back in 2011, when I went to all the 17 parades, I toured the state and went to all the festivals I could. You are right. I was the oldest queen at all of them. But it's just a different that's part of Tip Up Town's tradition. It's always been. But, yet again, one more change we can talk about for you guys here with Tip Up Town.
Yes.
Back in the day, the Tip Up Town Queen was never a pageant. It wasn't a chance to raise money for your community. It was actually during the parade, somebody, do you know who?
Actually, usually with the organizers of Tip Up Town, was my understanding, and they would go not just during the parade, but they would actually go on the ice.
Oh, so they just found a random person?
They found a random person on the ice, whether they were on a snowmobile or in an ice shanty, and they would select them to come to be Tip Up Town Queen, and many of them knew nothing about our community.
So there's ways that the changes have been fantastic for our organization and event, and there's changes that we can't control that haven't been that great. But what's always important is that they have continued. And one I'm excited to see continue, and I hope that the weather allows us to, is this. This is our snow sculptures.
Snow sculptures, yes.
And this is something they'll find on our Facebook page, what we're talking about here.
If I could just say something real quick. 2 of our businesses that benefited from the parade, the Backdoor Saloon and the Elks, both hold breakfasts. They are.
Oh, yes.
It's my understanding that both are still holding those breakfasts.
Absolutely.
And I would encourage you to please support them.
Yep.
Go out and have your breakfast with them.
Yes, that's that Backdoor Saloon. That's the one time a year you'll ever get breakfast there. And
Yes.
They did, yes. That
Yes,
was
and they're
something
still
they
going to do
celebrated.
that. We still encourage you, please, go down there, have a breakfast. You're going to enjoy it. I
Yes.
understand they're still going to have some entertainment
Yes,
there.
they are having a DJ that morning, and
Yes.
they'll have mimosas, their Bloody Marys
Absolutely.
as well. And Backdoor Saloon has always done a live broadcast of the parade for those who are unable to make it up to Houghton Lake to view it for themselves. So even with the change and it no longer passing their business, they still want to support Tip Up Town and will be broadcasting that live on their Facebook page. We'll be doing it from the pet parlor because that's where they're visible from now. But hey, that's businesses coming together.
And we
to
thank the
support.
Backdoor Saloon for doing that. That's wonderful. They are just wonderful, wonderful people to work with. And it broke our heart to take the parade away from them, but we just was beyond our control.
Yes, and we're not going to go back into those topics, but if you do want to, if you didn't catch why the parade has changed or all the full details, please visit us on www.houghtonlakechamber.net. On the front, on the homepage, there's the official statement right from the Roscommon County Sheriff's desk that'll answer all of your questions about that there. And again, no matter what we feel in our hearts about this, our video today is to remind us all about random changes that have happened throughout the festival's 74 years and how the festival has continued to be something that not only our local community looks forward to, but through the social media the last few days, I have seen people talking about flying in from Denver all over the states, and they don't care about the lack of the snow, because you know why they're coming? Because back in the day, their dad used to take them to this festival. Back in the day, their dad used to come here and ice fish, so they wouldn't miss this for the world.
Which reminds me, we're still giving away the 1,600 free badges to children 6th grade and under, so that every child in Roscommon County will have the opportunity to come to this festival and make memories.
Absolutely.
If your child does not get a button, if your child is homeschooled or doesn't go to a school that we've visited.
Now, what schools? It's Roscommon schools?
All of Roscommon County. So
And schools?
Roscommon area schools, Charlton Heston, Houghton Lake Community Schools, Our Lady of the Lake, even Skeels is
Yes.
included. So if for any reason
Up to 6th
your
grade.
child missed it somehow, please contact us. We have extra buttons here at the chamber, and we haven't been given out yet, but if it gets down to the time of the event, please come contact us. Let us know.
Yes.
We want your children there to help make memories.
And this is a fantastic addition to the festival. It's Kids Day. And
Kids
that's
Day.
the first Sunday of the event, so that's January 21st this
Yep.
year, Sunday, January 21st.
And we have our bull riding event.
Yes, the rodeo is going to be
Yep.
back. See, we don't need ice to have
And
a rodeo.
and another change, we had a magician set for all 3 days. Unfortunately, our magician had a setback with cancer and had to cancel.
See, things could be much worse
And-
for us, guys.
Yeah, and we were able to secure a magician for 1 day. We made it Kids Day,
Fantastic.
so that we could have. And she's a wonderful street performer. Please come out and see her. She's going to do a wonderful job for us. Kids Day is going to be our big day.
Yes.
And I just love it.
And just because we're talking about Kids Day doesn't mean that all 3 days aren't going to be jam-packed with fantastic things for your kids to do, like experience the carnival, the games, the petting zoo, the family fun tent full of all sorts of things. There's a merchant tent there as well for if you bring your kids and they're out playing and you want to do some shops.
Yes, absolutely. We have merchants that there'll be a few crafters in there. You can get our sweatshirts and such there. You can actually get some custom made ones this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it like these I have. They're back here. You might say that I like this design on here, but I don't want it in the front. I want it on the back. You can get that.
And they'll make them right on the spot.
They'll make them right on the spot for you. You can get your name on them. Let's say your whole family wants to come. You want to have unique ones and get your name. We'll get your name put on them.
Fantastic.
You want things down the sleeves? He'll put things down the sleeves like he has on this one.
Right there.
So yeah, we will do some very unique things this year that you can't get any other time.
Well,
That we haven't had in the past.
yes. So let's talk about this. Now, bringing back. So we were back on traditions from Tip of Town. And,
Yes.
and this is one that does get affected by the weather, like our
Oh,
ice
absolutely.
races.
Snow sculptures.
So our snow sculptures. And this is something that I've loved. I remember, I've grown up here, lived here my whole life, and I remember being younger and driving through town, and all the businesses used to build snow sculptures, and they had contests.
Right.
So obviously, that's fallen off. Why? Lack of people knowing how to do it, right?
Well, exactly.
And snow.
And snow. Well, lack of snow and lack of, and unfortunately, many of the businesses we used to have mom and pop businesses, many of them have gone corporate. Corporate will not allow them to do that.
Okay.
And won't allow and unfortunately, they won't even allow them to participate in the parades.
Well, that's a real
You know,
bummer.
it's a shame because there were many times when all those local businesses got in that parade. So we need the community to come out and help out a little bit
Yes,
and do what you can do.
This is a great
Be supportive.
opportunity. They're looking, as long as we get the snow, so everybody pray for snow. Don't make me put my sparkle boots on and do that snow dance. I'll do it. That's your threat. You're warning
Yeah,
everybody.
you can also find a copy of this. It's going to be on our Facebook
Yep.
page.
So they're going to look for volunteers and teach them how to build snow
How to build,
sculptures.
yeah, exactly right. Then there's an art to this.
And this is a tradition that we'd actually be passing down to you for you to be able to
From-
learn and keep.
From Parker Seiler, the late Parker Seiler, who was he, 94 or 96 years
Yeah.
old when he passed away this year.
And he
We
goes
lost
on-
we lost three of our past
Sorry.
mayors this last year. Parker Seiler, Bob Spicer,
Oh, boy.
we lost him this year as well, and Wally Robb.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
we lost all three of them. We will pay a little respect and homage to them at our kickoff. So, again, it's about our community. These were three community leaders who participated and supported Tip Uptown all in different ways. and we invite you all to come down and enjoy it. Have a great time.
I can promise you one thing. I know it's going to be a fantastic time no matter what. It's going to be full of tip-up-town tomfoolery. We've got that tip-up-town doggy show the second Saturday. We'll have our badge contest, our beard contest, and our vintage snowmobile suit. That'll be the same weekend as the vintage snowmobile display, so that we fixed that for you guys. We know we messed up on that last year, so we're moving that back together. We hear you when you bring these things up, and that's the point of this video. We're not ignoring your requests or the ideas that you guys have, but we are busy working there. I'm just
we do hear you. We do hear you, and while, like I say, sometimes it breaks our heart not to be able to do the things that you're requesting. But we'll do the very best we can with what we have to work with.
Absolutely, and I think they've done a fantastic job. Everybody who's been involved at keeping this event around for 74 years.
Yep, and we still need volunteers. If any of you wish to work and volunteer in any way, please let us know.
Well, and I've seen a few people on different types of topics about Tip of Town coming up with different ideas. I wish they'd do this, or what if they tried that? Why don't you guys bring it to life and become a volunteer for Tip-Up-Town? Pitch your idea.
And help make that happen.
Yes, it's that easy. If you would like to have something at Tip-Up-Town, you just have to bring it in, get the formalities worked out with the board, and it can become.
Yep.
But it never will happen if you just throw the idea at the chamber and expect them. Without manpower, it cannot happen. Manpower is the biggest driving
manpower and money
source.
is that's the two things, and and we will try to do everything we can with what we have.
Yes, and a note to leave on here. The final question I heard a lot was regarding the adult beverage tent and live music this year. They thought maybe that it wasn't going to be happening.
Oh, absolutely, that happens.
All right, yes, this is.
Yeah, the adult beverage tent. That's all on. That's all great. That's all set and ready to go. Two wonderful bands. We have Limelight on the first weekend, both Friday night and Saturday from noon to 6. And then we have the following weekend. We used to be called the All My Friends Band, so now it's just AMF.
Oh, AMF?
All My Friends Band.
Makes me feel like I should FM, AM,
AMF,
radio. That's confused. But anyway, it's going to be a good show. And we are excited to welcome a new cocktail to the beverage tent this year.
Yes, from the Copper Kettle.
Yeah.
Who will be in, they'll be in the beverage tent, and they are going to make 2 cocktails, is my understanding.
Yep, one hot, one cold.
One hot, one cold, and you'll be able to find them. It will be on the south side of the tent.
Oh, you're making us do directions?
I know.
So that, guys,
towards
is this
away
way.
from the lake. In the tent, away from the lake, where they stay warmer. You'll get directions. It'll be easy to find.
Yes, there'll be a sign.
It'll be easy to find. They'll have a sign. We have a nice bar there. And Tom, the owner, is going to teach our bartenders how to make those cocktails.
Fantastic.
They will serve them to you. We also have other mixed drinks there, as well as our beer this year.
And you do have to be 21 to enter the beverage tent.
That is correct,
And you
21.
do have to have a Tip-Up-Town badge and a legal ID.
Correct.
So that's your requirements if you want to partake in that fun at Tip-Up-Town. But we hope you'll participate in all the fun at Tip-Up-Town because there's so much. And like we said, we're disappointed in the cancellations that we have to have as far as like the side-by-side ice races. But guys, there's just today enough ice to even go out there and measure 1 inch maybe. So it's just not worth even trying to attempt it this year. It breaks my heart. I hate it. And I am only speaking for the side-by-side ice races that we have down at Tip-Up-Town. I am not speaking for all of the ice race events per Eddie and past Eddie's events. He does his things.
He does his thing.
The ice is very different also between where I'm at the Tip-Up-Town site and the East Bay. They're very
East
different.
Bay is very shallow and can make ice very quickly.
Yes.
So if he gets even 72 hours of below zero weather, he'll have plenty of ice.
Yep.
So
and
it just takes a
few
cold
days,
spell.
it's started to form. So what I'm hoping for, as much as I would love to have my event, I'm really just hoping for at the very least enough ice for people to go out and enjoy the ice fishing contest. That still happens, right?
Yes.
For ice or no ice?
Yes.
So what if there's no ice? How do they fish?
Well,
Do you get your waders on?
I suppose you could go on a boat. I suppose where I'm going to have to defer to Lyman's on the Lake for that one. They run this contest. We turned it over to them a couple years ago. Kurt does a wonderful, wonderful job administrating this contest. I haven't been able to reach him to determine what he's going to do, what his plan B is.
Okay, but there'll be a plan B.
Yeah, because last year we had enough ice for them to actually have a contest.
Okay.
This year the question is, will we?
Right.
And we still have
15 days.
We still have 15 days, and it could happen. because they don't need much ice. I've seen people out there fishing with
There
3
were
inches
already
of ice.
people out there that fished before our ice went away. There was
Right.
ice at some
You give
point
them
this
3
year.
inches of ice, they're out there fishing.
Now, please remember, no matter what amount of ice we do have at Tip of Town, we're going to put this out there just so everybody remembers to be safe. And if you want to call Lyman's to ask them about their ice fishing rules for the contest or what that will be, you can give them a call at 422-3231, or you can visit them right on M55, Lyman's on the Lake. Stop in, give them a chat.
Yes,
And if you hear the answer,
they'll love to hear from you.
Yeah.
They're
And if
a
you're
wonderful,
watching
wonderful
Lyman's,
organization, and we thank
let
them
us
so
know.
much for all their support for all these years.
Yes. And then as far as the regular formalities of things that we see at Tip of Town, are we going to see the ice slide this year?
Again, depending on weather.
Okay.
If we get the cold weather, the slide itself is already down there, and it's ready to go. So
Are we going to make a water slide if not?
no.
Oh. See, I heard that on the community page, so everybody worried about that water slide. Squash.
No, we're not going to try to do a water slide. It would still be too cold for the water slide, and not warm, and not.
Now, the
Cold enough for the-
final question here, the polar bear dip. If for some reason we do experience another warm-up prior to the event, and the polar bear dip is the second Saturday,
Yes.
so do we run into the lake? How does that work? What
Well,
happens?
more than likely, what we're going to do is convince the fire department to do what we did a few years ago when it was too cold to cut a hole. They brought a big one of the troughs they use to fight fires, and it stands about 2.5, 3 feet tall.
Okay.
We'll fill it full of water, and you get to jump in. I'll go down to Walmart. I'll grab some bags of ice.
Oh, you'll throw ice cubes in
we're
there.
throwing
I
ice
like
cubes
it.
in there this year. If we have to do it, we're going to do it. We're still going to have a nice little polar bear dip. You're going to jump in there, have some fun, be creative. It just won't be our. We'd love to keep it traditional, but sometimes Mother Nature tells us who's boss.
Well, and that's part of, I've been up here my whole life, born and raised, and living up north, one of the biggest things that we learn is grit. And that's one of the things that I will say Tip of Town and all the volunteers that I've ever worked with really express a lot of, because no matter what happens, we're dealing with all sorts of in the moment, fix this, hurry up, figure that out, oh crap, the snowstorm right now, we're putting up a tent. Grit. That's what's gotten us all through it. So the fact that we ask our community members some years to grit and bear it, well, the weather just isn't that fantastic, and do the snow dance, so hopefully some miracle will pull off right before.
Yep.
We appreciate that, guys, and hang in there with us, because we're all going through the same thing.
Yeah. Come on down and see us.
And
You're going to
Wisconsin
enjoy it.
and Minnesota are also struggling with snow this year. I know Wisconsin, a major ice race event that they also had, they did cancel it already this year for the second year in a row
And
as well.
I'll tell you right now, more than likely, the one up in Sault Ste. Marie.
The I-500 snowmobile race,
I'm sure it's in jeopardy if it hasn't been canceled.
It's a statewide thing, guys, so we're just grateful at the very least that luckily what we do isn't like those events right there that they're called off completely because they can't pull it off in any way. We're lucky that we can still keep some of the tradition.
So our sister city up there in Sault Ste. Marie, we feel for them because they, again, need tourism as well.
We feel for all of the people trying to pull off events this time of year with the weather and with the wrong weather, because it's never easy.
Exactly right.
So thank you guys so very much for watching. We know this was a little bit long, but we wanted to make sure that we got this hot topic covered. You've heard it from the source now.
Thank
and
you.
if you do have more questions, or you want to stop in and get some Tip of Town merch prior to, you want to volunteer, you want to learn more about the event, please. The chamber is located right here on M55, located right next to the Historical Playhouse. They're open Monday through Friday. You can give them a call if you're serious. They are busy at 989-366-5644. But the best thing to do is when you're really ready to pull up, if you've got ideas, maybe save them after this preparation time and bring them to prepare for next year's event.
Absolutely right.
That would be the best, getting their attention, because right now they're very distracted. I was a lot to get him to get for me right now. I'm taking up a lot of his time. So again, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you Saturday.
We love you all, and we will come on down to Tip Up Town.
Yes, but first come to the kickoff this Saturday at the Northern Center right here in Houghton Lake. It's going to kick off at 5:30 p.m. Remember that tasting's from 5:30 to 7. You're going to enjoy 10 different tastes of Houghton Lake. You're going to love them all. And then 7 to 9, we're going to be meeting our new queen, our new mayor and marshal, our grand marshal, our hometown hero. So many fantastic things. And if you want to do that polar bear dip, no matter how it goes down or over or in or whatever we're doing, they are going to be auctioning off the first four jumps.
First 5 badges.
First
1
5
through 5 badges, and the first 5 lures.
The first 5 lures.
The other, no, 6 through
if the lures.
6 through
Maybe
10.
people don't know about the lures.
Yeah, 6 through 10 are silent auction.
Okay.
Because otherwise the auction just gets to be too long, and if you're not interested in bidding, it gets to be a little too boring, for you.
This is a slippery lure. But here's one of the lures from this year. Hope you guys can see it. And they also have matching earrings. So if you ladies want to get your man one of the lures and the ladies can look pretty with one of the matching earrings, they're very awesome. We'll show you those real quick. And these will be there at the event if you want to get yourself paired because they're limited quantity. There's only
very
so
limited
many.
quantity, especially on the earrings.
I love these. They're so cute.
We don't even have a lot of the lures left.
No, they're going fast.
So those are limited.
They're going fast as the ice. Sorry, I had to say it.
We used to buy a whole bunch of those things, like the collector's cars, the banks we had for many years, and then you'd end up with 50, 60 of them sitting around next year.
Well, speaking of that, if you did not get something from a previous year, you can contact the chamber, and they may have what you're looking for.
We may have it. If we don't have it, we have some sources of where you can get it if you have a collection.
Absolutely. So we're going to get off here and get him back to work, and thank you guys so very much. And if you hear something that doesn't sound just right about Tip of Town, please direct them to the Hougthon Lake Chamber, this video, or just the source, so that we're getting the right information out there about this year's event. Because the final word is Tip of Town is happening.
It is. It's happening. It's on.
We'll see you there. It's
Come on down.
January 20th, 21st, and 27th, 2024, right here in Houghton Lake, on land.
Like
always.
Yes.
We'll see you guys next time.
And enjoy the parade as well, please.
Oh, yes, that's our. Remember, yes, the parade this year is going to start at Tractor Supply.
Tractor Supply, it's going to head west.
West. That way.
Yes.
That way. So, Copper Kettle's this way, parade this way. Okay, all right. So, in all seriousness, guys, we really do hope we'll see you there.
Yes.
Just remember to enjoy yourself, and a lot of enjoying yourself at this event, no matter, regardless of the weather, it all starts right here and right here. Mindset and your heart.
Absolutely. That's what Tip Up Town really is. It's about our community and their heart.
Yeah, because it can be a miserable time when it's -40 and blowing wind and snow in your face. You wouldn't have fun then anyway.
No.
We'll see you next
Thank
time,
you.
guys.